Previously on the new Fly Fisher.
This is the first fish out of this system. How do you like that? We have got an absolute stud brown trout on here, caught in this little creek. It's fall time here in Chile, and that means spawning time. Let's take a look at this. I'm so excited right now. I gotta go. I gotta chase this guy. This is a giant. How do you like that? What an absolute thrill of my lifetime. Thank you. Thank you.
That was unreal.
We got fences to deal with. We got undercuts. We got 4X on. This is what we call a brown trout rodeo.
That's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. Nice. Oh my goodness, that's the kind of fish that makes stickers out of people.
The new Fly Fisher is supported by Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge, Vair Watches, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited,
Welcome back to Chilean Patagonia. We're continuing with the dry fly program here in the fall season. Looking for noses in rivers and in lakes. Chile is well known to be a very windy location most of the time. This is a blessing and a curse. Wind here allows anglers to present flies with much less chance of being detected by the fish. They are much less likely to spook, and yes, it does present some casting challenges. However, even a short time in the wind here allows anglers to better their casting techniques to present dries to unwary fish. There are rare occasions where there is little to no wind. These days, though much easier on the caster, can be brutally difficult. Stealthy approaches both by the angler's person as well as delicate casts are a must during these no-wind events. Today, guide Colin McCluskey and I decide to do something most anglers don't get a chance to do. Fish a big fish lake with big mayflies and caddis offerings with no wind. This lake, not 10 minutes from Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge, is well known for big fish. We get loaded up and head to the access. I've been here in the past and have been fortunate enough to catch some pretty spectacular fish. I know what this lake is capable of. However, with no wind and water that is literally gin clear, we're going to be challenged, especially using only dry flies. Fishing this lake in these conditions, you actually do want a little bit of wind. A little bit of chop on the water. However, this morning there is nothing. But there are bugs and the fish are looking up. So what's the game plan? Colin and I will navigate the perimeter of the lake looking for actively feeding fish. He will get me in position, and I will try to get the fly in the fish's feeding lane. There are fish all over the place. This should be a piece of cake. things start out a little rough.
All right, so as you can see, oh, he came off. Oh. But what we're doing today is a lot of fun. It's not for everybody, but it is an absolute blast. As you can see, this lake is slick calm, but there's been a mayfly hatch going off all day long, and we are targeting sipping fish. We've now hooked 2 and had 3 rises, and it's super great because you're looking at these fish feeding, you're seeing which direction they're going, you're placing that cast in there into their feeding lie, and we just came tight with a beautiful rainbow. I screwed it up, but there's fish feeding all over these reeds and in the middle of the lake, so we're gonna keep at it. Colin's got this hawkeye looking for fish, and I'm helping to spot too. So when we see something surface, we get in position and make that cast, and it's 100% fun.
We spot a fish feeding in the reeds and make the cast.
Now this is 5X, so I am going to play this fish like it is a baby. Oh, that is so amazing. Now we don't have any structure to worry about out here, do we?
No, we're clear now.
So we're good. This looks like a great brown trout. We've got a parachute Adams on. We watched this fish feeding down the reed line and placed it, led the fish by about 4 feet. And you're sure there's no structure down there? He's down deep, he's sounded. Now I generally don't like tightening my drag during a fish fight, but this guy's almost got me into my backing.
It's 5X fluoro, so it is about
6 pounds?
almost 6 pounds.
Okay. Look at that super clear water. You can see the fish coming up. Oh, it's a good one. Okay, I'm into my leader. Oh, it's a rainbow. Sweet. Yes. Fantastic. That's why they call this lake 0 to hero, because either you get skunked or you can catch giants. All right, Colin, we took a risk and decided to come out to this fantastic lake. The conditions are not ideal, are they?
No, today is a little too still. Ideally, you want a little chop on the water to hide you and your presentation from the fish. Today, we don't quite have that chop, but what that means is that the bugs that are coming off will be sitting on the surface of the water longer. It's a risk, but you can see fish feeding, and that's what makes it fun.
Right. How do you want us to fish this together today?
So we're gonna fish a long leader. This leader is about 12 feet, and it's a pretty light tippet. We're fishing 5X. And I chose to fish fluorocarbon on the end because I like how the fluoro will sink just below the surface. It doesn't quite ripple up the top. And we're gonna fish a small parachute Adams. Before we cast, we're gonna sight a fish. We're gonna note the progression of the fish, whether he's moving left or right, and the speed. And then we're gonna try to lead him accordingly. So if he's moving slow, we'll lead him just by a few feet. If he's moving fast, we'll try to lead him by 4 or 5 feet.
Okay. Okay, and is it dead drift, or do you want me to skate it, or a combination of the two?
I would say dead drift. If we put it out and it's been 5-10 seconds, no action, a little skate,
Yeah.
that could do it.
Okay. Well, I can hear slurps and gulps happening right now. Oh, this is gonna be fun. One of the important things to remember when you're fishing these trout on these still, calm lakes is if you make a bad cast or you don't put the cast in the spot where you want it to, just leave it. Colin has been asking me to leave the fly where I've cast it, regardless of whether it was in the right zip code of the fish, because these trout are actually cycling. They're moving around, searching for flies on the surface of the water. So if you've made a bad cast, wait until you see that fish come up again, and in relation to where your fly is before you pick it up and pull it out and make another cast. You never know, that fish might just come back and eat the fly that's in that cycle zone. And you might just get lucky. I mean, you just might. So wait till you see the fish rise again and then represent.
You make a bad cast, you realize it's not where you want it to be. You can almost panic and pull the fly out quick.
Yeah.
And that quick movement on the water, sometimes you make a loud pop or a rustle.
Or even the movement of the line leader connection.
Totally, yeah.
Right.
That, all of that, sometimes done with the good intention, right, can actually end up hurting you.
So Colin just made a great observation that, we're not at this end of the lake, we're seeing fewer naturals on the water, and that might actually play to our benefit here, so that, these fish are not constantly seeing mayflies, but ours might stand out from the lack of the crowd. So we saw this fish feeding in the reeds, led it by 4 feet or so, and it came out and sipped it. It refused it the first time, then came around and ate it. So just fantastic. But Colin, I think an important point is, if there's no bugs on the water, that could turn off the fish from feeding on the surface, correct?
Exactly. It's a timing thing. Being here at the moment that the naturals slow down can play to our benefit. But if there's a lack of naturals for a while, the feed could turn off. So it's a good thing we're here at this moment.
Yeah. Oh, look how dark it is. Oh, super cool fish.
After that fish, we noticed that outside of the bay that we were working, the breeze was picking up a bit. We rode into a breeze-swept bay and spotted a fish cruising along the shoreline.
So as you can see, the wind has picked up here and it's no longer flat calm. Colin, are these the ideal conditions for this technique?
We've had to change up our tactics a little bit. So no longer are the natural mayflies staying on the surface. They're getting blown into the edges. And so our last few fish that we've sighted have been pretty tight to the reed line, pretty tight to the shore. It's a double-edged sword because the naturals aren't staying on the surface as long, but this chop does help to hide our presentation in the boat. So the game's a little bit different, maybe a little more blind casting because it's harder to see each rising and cruising fish, but each one of those casts to a rising or cruising fish is probably going to be more effective.
Right, so I'm using a 5-weight 9-foot 5-weight rod with a 5-weight weight forward floating line. I've got 12 feet of leader out going from 3X taper to 4X to 5X to a parachute Adams. And what size is that? It's like a 10?
That's a size 12 parachute
That's a 12?
Adams.
Okay. All right.
Maybe things will start picking up now that the breeze is back. Equipment for this flat water, incredibly technical style of fishing is as follows. I'm using a 9-foot 6-weight fly rod with a weight forward floating line, also 6-weight. Leader material is 12-foot minimum 4x tapered leader with 5x tippet. Flies to consider could be various sizes and colors of caddis flies, including larger Goddard caddis. Mayfly patterns such as a Parachute Adams will get the job done. As the afternoon wears on, the wind dies down again, and Colin spots a fish feeding near very heavy cover.
Such a subtle sip.
See on that log?
Nope, not yet. We might need to go after him.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the day, and there is a trout sipping.
Maybe point your rod to the left side, go over that log the other way. No, you're right. He's under it.
Come on out, fish. Now I don't know what to do. Maybe if I just give him some slack. Or reel down to him. He's a big fish, man. I saw him.
Yeah. I wonder if I can try reaching down and moving that whole log. You know?
Oh, he's off. Well, that's what happens when you play in the rhubarb, right? That's a big fish. That was so fun. Combat fishing. Well, Colin, been a fantastic day.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun. It's technical, but well worth the effort. High risk, high reward for big trout on Dries.
Well, on Lago Hero 0, I think you heroed.
Nice. Thanks, man. What a fantastic day. That was a cool eat.
That was cool.
Super, super subtle. Yeah.
The next day, conditions did a full 180. It was windy. Super windy. We gather the troops and get ready to head to the river. Today we are fishing with lodge owner Eduardo Barrueto and guide Mason Gator. We get started with a big chubby Chernobyl. The water is quite off color. The larger profile will get the attention of the fish, especially splatting the fly close to the banks.
Dang it.
Structure to consider fishing rivers like this are, of course, any pockets or incuts you may see on the side of the banks. Steeper banks diving into the water are also a great spot to prospect, as are, as always, undercut banks. That said, don't ever discount the middle of the river, especially deeper troughs on windy days. The ripple on the water caused by the wind will often provide the fish with the comfortable cover they're looking for. And though there aren't any fish-eating birds, save for kingfishers in Chile, deeper water will provide the cover they may be looking for. This fish came out of a pocket tucked into the bank. This creek is a favorite of Eduardo's, one he fished with his dad as a child. I couldn't let the day go by without offering he take a few casts, and sure enough, he comes tight immediately. With that, we head back to Magic Waters for an evening of incredible food, drinks, and great company. It's our final day here at Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge in Chilean Patagonia. Eduardo and guide Luciano Morales decide we hit one of the larger rivers in the area. This is a first for me, as on other trips here this river has been blown out due to rain. However, in the fall, though there has been some rain, the river is running perfectly. As we get ready to approach the river, I couldn't help but stop and take a moment to take it all in. The mountains and canyon are breathtakingly scenic. And though it's a bit of a hike to get into the canyon, every step is well worth the descent. And having to work to get to the river can also mean that maybe there will be less pressure on the fish below. The sheep paths are very passable, and I'll worry about climbing out when the day is done.
You know, if there's a trout heaven, we may have just found it. We're down here in the canyon section of this great river here in Chile. I've got a parachute Adams tied on with a long leader. We're on the make for browns and rainbows today. Today should be a fantastic day. As the sun comes around the corner and gets onto the river, things should heat up.
You're in 5X.
Well, that's a good start to the day. Fishing this inside seam on the inside of this bend with a parachute. And this fish came up and ate on like the third cast. I had a feeling today was going to be special. It's starting out brilliantly. Feels like a good one. Woo, yes it is. Oh, nice. Now I'm fishing with one of Eduardo's rods this morning, and he's a left-handed retrieve. I'm going to fight this fish simply by stripping line and not risk fumbling with an opposite retrieve that I'm not 100% comfortable with. It's better to have constant, confident contact with these fish than it is to risk losing one in a fumble. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Don't you do that.
Way to go, Mark. Nice.
What leader have you got in here, Eduardo?
We're on a 5X.
5X, okay.
Yeah. So be
take
careful.
it easy.
Take it easy.
Now the water is freezing, so you don't need to worry about exhausting these fish. Colder the water, the more you can play them without worrying about them fatiguing too much, but you still want to be able to get them into the net. Still. He won't give me his head, Luciano. He won't give me his head. He's still got energy. Jeez.
Yeah, water's pretty cold.
He didn't like the net.
Now he's coming.
Ah, strong fish, man. Man, they fight, hey?
Oh, shit. Faltó la lengua más larga. Ahora viene.
Yes, Luciano.
Good job, man.
What a fish to
It's a
start the
beautiful
day.
brown.
That's
For a little
incredible.
parachute arms.
Thank you, sir.
It's a football.
Magnificent.
What a start to the day. We head upstream and I spot a fish eating a natural.
Are there rainbows in here too?
Yeah, but they're still, if you were nymphing, you will
Yeah.
catch more rainbows. But we're going to start seeing the rainbows feeding where it's more, where the sun is starting to.
Right.
We come up to a big deep pool at the end of a run with a giant back eddy.
Back eddies are tough to fish. There's hydraulics moving all over the place, and it can be really difficult to know where to place your fly, the most effective place to put your fly. But, I mean, the old cliche stands that foam is home, but if you use the foam as your current indicator, That will help you be able to figure out where to place those flies so that they drift into where the food is. The food will gather in the foam, and that's where the fish will lay underneath, waiting, ready to pick off bugs from that foam. So you look at a back eddy, you see the foam lines, they're constantly changing. You make those casts into the foam, let it ride with a long leader, proper mends, and chances are you'll have a lot better opportunity to hook these fish.
That was a great take.
We've been watching this brown trout feed sporadically up here in this foam line, and Luciano tied on a goddess cattard and Goddard caddis. See how nervous I am? And this rainbow came up and ate it,
First try.
and it's a good one. I was hoping for the big brown, but I'll take a nice rainbow any day. But the takes are just fantastic. Here in the fall in Patagonia, you know, you can fish Dries the entire trip if that's what you want. You can fish any style you want in the fall. And here we go. Nice rainbow, man. Good fish. Thanks, Luciano.
Fat rainbow.
Fat fish, man.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Awesome rainbow.
We see another great run with a ledge, and the Adams works again.
So this is a prime example of fishing close to you and working your way out. There's a ledge that runs up the right-hand side of this flat where the softer water is, and that's where that brown trout was sitting, was right on the ledge. So you slowly work your way out, slowly work your way up and cover water, and brown trout success, cool fish.
Fishing the same ledge, I move a good fish. Let it rest for 30 seconds and recast. I forgot I was using 5X tippet and lost a great trout. Total angler error. Time to calm down and regroup. For those of you who value time spent outdoors, investing in reliable tools is essential to making the most of your experience in nature. A durable, affordable, and timeless wristwatch is the perfect companion for any angler. And that's exactly what Vair watches are built for. Assembled in America and backed by a guaranteed waterproof warranty, Vair watches offer the ideal balance of affordability and performance. Stay on time and focus on the moments that matter most. Equipment used for this Magic Waters Patagonia dry fly only river adventure is as follows. We use both 5 and 6 weight 9-foot fly rods with matching 5 and 6 weight forward floating lines. Leader material was 9-foot 4X tapered leader with 5X tippet of varying lengths. Flies included chubby Chernobyls, various grasshopper patterns, and mayfly patterns including various sized parachute Adams. We hike up to a cross-river run, and I ask Eduardo how I should be fishing this bug.
Fish right now are mostly feeding on grasshoppers, so they are right next to the shore. Yeah, there is not much going on in terms of hatches. In the morning when we came, there was a lot of fish feeding on top, and they were feeding in shallow water, but now they are closer to the shore, so they are eating hoppers.
Eduardo makes another suggestion, but I can't hear him, and as I look away, wouldn't you know, a fish eats across the bank. Luciano sees the fish, and we decide to cross the river for a better shot.
So I raised a fish on this side of the river from that side of the river, and I decided to cross over with Luciano and put this hopper, which he came up on. He's under that grass. And sure enough, I guess the time it took us to come over, this fish was calmed down, and we were able to put the hopper over him again. He's in that grass. There we go. And then he came up and ate it again. And it's a good fish, man. It's a great brown trout.
Oh!
That is awesome. And I just pulled a rainbow out of the same spot. The rainbow ate first, and then the brown came and ate it. Stay out of there. Perfecto. Oh, so fun. Hopper fishing, it's the best. Yeah.
Hook set. Oh, nice.
This is unbelievable. So all these fish are coming from the bubble line where the slow water meets the fast water. And that rainbow just came up and slowly sipped it. That was perfect. That was so fun. It looks like such a fishy spot. So fishing foam lines with hoppers is the key.
Oh!
Luciano saw an eat up at that black boulder and told me to put it up there. It's a long cast, and another rainbow came and got it, and then a bigger rainbow was in behind it to check it out. I've got 4X on here attached to a 3X leader, and I know there's another fish in there, so we're gonna once we let this one go, we're gonna give it a shot. Nice female. Gonzo.
Great eat.
The hopper bite has just been insane today. We've got perfect conditions, and the fish are just playing along like you would not believe. No. And he's playing the current very well. Oh, that's a big fish. That is a big fish. Big brown, big brown. Yes!
Nice!
Yeah! Are you kidding me? Luciano, oh my God!
That's a beautiful brown.
No mercy. Let's bring him into the shallows and take a look.
Well, that's about all the time we have for this episode of The New Fly Fisher. Thanks for watching. I want to thank Eduardo and Consuelo Barroeto, along with all the guides for their hospitality and expert advice. Remember, adventure is out there. All you need to do is go and find it. And what better way than to do it with a fly rod in your hand? For more on our series, check us out on all the socials and at www.thenewflyfisher.com. From all of us here at The New Fly Fisher, thanks for watching, and I hope one day to see you fishing Dries at Magic Waters, Patagonia Lodge, deep in Chilean Patagonia.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Magic Waters, Patagonia Lodge, Vair Watches, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited,